I'm not gonna lie, y'all. It's Romania Black, and this feels weird. It always feels weird when it is the last episode of a series. And I don't get to say that quite as often as you would think, because usually it's like, oh, well, we're just waiting till season 3, or oh, we're just waiting until season 2, or oh, we're just waiting for the manga and all this. There is no manga. There is no season 2. It's just, we're done. Well, we do have one more week, which we'll talk about here in just a second. So we do have another week. But with that being said, it feels weird. It feels weird. So before we go any further, thank you to everyone. It has been an unusual experience as a content creator that answers the comments, because I know a lot of content creators don't, and I understand why, but I started this channel, and the main reason I started the channel was to talk to you all about the series, because I don't, other than my brother, I have no friends or family that really are into anime. So conversing with you all is like the only chance I get to talk about these things and geek out, which is why I love it so much. And my brother's not seen this series. He's heard of it, but he's not seen it, so we've not been able to talk about it. But because this series is so shrouded in mystery, and because it's hard to talk about it without spoiling something, the comments have been very few and far between. But I understand why, and I want to thank all of you for not spoiling. And I want to say a special thank you to Cough Me, who has been moderating this series, because my main moderators, Floor and Be Happy, neither of them had watched the series. They're like, we've not seen it. And so my mods volunteer their time for free, and I wasn't about to be like, well, you need to watch this series. No. So I asked around on Patreon, and Cough Me was like, I've seen the series. I'm willing to moderate. So first of all, thank you for moderating and being so kind and taking the time out of your day to check comments, because that was very nice of you, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And secondly, thanks to everybody, because even if you didn't comment, the fact that you didn't want to spoil me means a lot, especially in this age of the internet where trolls are everywhere. So I really appreciate that. I hope if you have anything you want to get off your chest about the main series, this is the episode to do it. Now, with that being said, next week I am going to look at the audio dramas, because I know there's some audio dramas. Next week, we're not done with Odd Taxi this week, which is good. Next week, we're going to look at the audio dramas, because I've been told to look at those. And Cough Me did tell me, I've been going on about this movie, and Cough Me's like, hey, you should know now that you're reaching the end. The movie is a recap movie. And I was like, no, I hate recaps. But they did say that there is some extra material. So they said they were going to try to find a compilation that somebody's put together of the extra scenes that are new and not just recap. And I was like, okay, cool. So I'm going to get back with them on that. But next week will be the audio dramas and probably the compilation of extra scenes that are animated. That's going to be what next week is. And then we're going to take a break. The week after that, I'll have something on the channel. It'll be an extra. Y'all see what it is when you see it. But we'll have that the week after, and then we'll start a new series after that. But it feels weird to say that to you all, because I rarely get the chance to say that. So yeah, Odd Taxi. It's been a journey, and there's still so many questions that we need answered. And I'm excited we're hopefully going to get to that tonight. That's going to be fun. But I do want to have a comment to talk about, and that is from Blue Blade 1645 for episode 9. They said, the more I revisit this series, the more my appreciation for it grows. The way it deals with the internet and internet usage especially stands out. Sometimes shows that try to do internet commentary can come across as an old man going, those dang TikTokers, or similar. But Odd Taxi feels like it has a genuine understanding of what the dangers of having an online presence are, and expresses that through very well-rounded and flawed characters. Oh yeah, this has been a series that's been so much fun, because a lot of series that I've watched on this channel are older series from like the 80s or the 90s or the early 2000s. And so the internet is there and it's present, but it doesn't feel fully fleshed out. Whereas this series is like 2021. So it's new and innovative, and I love it. I definitely want to buy this series as a physical media. I definitely want to get it as physical media, because I think it's important to have it, especially because it's just so good. But with that being said, I'm super excited to see what we get. And I'm still going to, even though this week and next week are probably our last weeks with Odd Taxi, I am still going to check comments. So if you have comments for this episode, now's the time. because I'm going to be checking comments for episodes 10 and 11. That's where I am at as I'm recording this next week to look at with the audio dramas, or the week after. So we'll have that. So that'll be good. That'll be good. But anyway, I'm recording ahead because I couldn't wait. I wanted to see the final episode, and I just couldn't wait anymore. So thank you all so much for joining me on this journey. It's been so fun. I've had this series recommended since it came out 4 years ago, and it's so exciting to finally be at the final episode. So cheers to that. But in any case, we're not going to waste any more time. We are going to start Odd Taxi, episode 13, lucky number 13. And we're going to do that here in 3, 2, 1. Ooh! That's a pretty damn good ending. Oh my God. Okay, look, this is going to sound weird when I say this. I don't want a sequel. That was good. Oh, damn, that was good. Ah! Okay, it would be so tempting and greedy for me to be like, oh, but I need a sequel series to see, like, is the girl gonna get away with murder? It would be so tempting. But this series does what I love some series can pull off. If a series can pull it off, I love it. And Odd Taxi does it. It gives you the open end that is clearly leading to something's going to happen, but they don't tell you how it goes down. And it's up for you and the fanfic writers of the world to determine the ending. Oh, it's so damn good. Now, if they did make a sequel series, would I watch it? Well, yes, I would. But I really don't want them to. That ended fine. It all came back around. We're going to talk about it, but that ended so good while still keeping it open-ended, giving us, I can't believe that she's the one that did it. I can't believe it. This season finale did everything it needed to. It went full circle. It gave us answers about everything pretty much. It left some things open-ended, but that's okay. Every character you could see had some resolution. So good. We're going to talk about it. So good. And Otakawa getting to get over his fear of humans and recognizing that he can relate to them and everything. Oh, ha, 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 ha. Oh my God. Let's talk about this episode. But damn, I'm so happy and satisfied, and I feel so good at the end of this. This is just, we still have next week with the audio drama and the extra scenes from the recap movie. We still have that to get through, so this is not the end. We have next week. But that's just so damn good. I'm so satisfied with this episode. It's such a good feeling, right? When you finish a series and you go, I feel like Leonardo DiCaprio with the soda where he's like, yeah, like. So this episode called Where To? So damn good. I love how we got the chase scene where we're learning about Otakawa's backstory while the chase scene is going down. That was just brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I loved it. And we don't get the OP anymore. No OP, no ED. We don't need them. But I love that we see the people as animals one last time. And then Otakawa is handsome in his adult form. I was like, oh, you know what this made me? I was trying to be like, what does this remind me of? What is this making me think of? And it was making me think of two things. One, it was making me think of Disney's Beauty and the Beast, when all of the people that work in the castle and the prince, they turn back into humans. It was giving me those vibes. I was like, okay, this feels very, where you see Lumiere as a human at the end. Like, that was basically me looking at Kakihana, which is great. I don't think we saw Don Raku, though, as a human. I don't think we did. But it made me think of that. And then it also made me think of Casper, the 1995 movie Casper, the live action, where Casper becomes Devon Sawa for like a hot second, and Romania Black had an instant crush. So yes, those are the two vibes that it was giving me, and I was like, I love this so much. We got confirmation that Otakawa, after he had the near-death experience where his mom basically tried to kill all of them, she got to that point, which we'll talk about. But he developed this cognitive impairment that made him see people in the way that the only way he could successfully, which was through the eyes of being animals, because of the book he had and going to the zoo. Like, everything made sense. It all tied together. It was so good. And then him having the experience in the car, and then Shirakawa saving him. Oh, my ship, my OTP, Otakawa and Shirakawa, just let me have that. And then him going back to the way he was before. Oh, so good. Gariki is such a good guy. He needed a friend like Gariki growing up. He's like, when I grew up, I wanted to work in the zoo because I didn't like humans. We'll say with that, I have a lot of students, because I do advising, I have a lot of students tell me that they want to be a vet because they don't want to deal with humans. And I'm like, no. I was like, you don't want to be a vet because you don't want to deal with humans. No, that's not a good reason. Because what happens is you're going to deal with some of the worst kind of people. Those are the people whose pets are their babies, and you're going to have to deal with them if anything goes wrong. I don't mean the worst kind of people, but there are some people. I am a dog owner, a dog maham, and I know how strongly I feel about Ruby and Huckleberry. I can only imagine some people, and my friend works for a vet clinic, and she's not a vet, she just works there, but she is like, some of the people that come in are some of the crazies, some of the most intense, obsessive people about their animals, and they get to be the most dramatic. And I'm like, no, you don't want to be a vet because you don't want to deal with people, because you will deal with the most, not the worst people, but the extreme people of extreme emotional range. So I'm like, you need a desk job if you don't want to work with people. But yeah, no, that's not how that works. So I don't know if him working at a zoo would have kept him away from people, but I'm so glad we got to see what everybody looked like as humans. As soon as we found out that was the case, I was like, I want to see what everybody looks like as a human, because we've seen them as animals this entire time. And it was kind of unsettling for some of them to see them in human form. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the ones that work, the ones that are like, oh, but it was so fun. This was just like, it was such a indulgence without feeling like fan service. And for this show to crank out a surprise in the final hour, because we've been talking for weeks now about how we've thought that, or I've thought that Otakawa had this where he saw people as animals, but they were really humans. And we've talked about it being a cat in the apartment this whole time, which it was, which he was like, thank God. And I was like, you thought it was a person? So that was fun. But to still give us a surprise, I did not see coming in 1,000 years that it was the girl that didn't get it. It should have been obvious, because when she came back in, she's like, well, I begged you to join. It's like, girl, do you not realize the circumstance that you joined in? Well, yes, she did, because she killed her. Insane. We got questions with that, but we'll get to it. But yeah, so we have Yano and all them following them. I hate the fact that he was bullied as a kid. And the worst part is when he says, I wasn't good at school or sports, so the teachers wouldn't help me. That part sucks. I hate that. I hate it. I used to go to high schools for my job and talk to students about what they were doing after high school. And it really saddened me, because I saw it at my own high school, but my high school is really small, so you don't quite think of it. You're like, oh, maybe at big schools it's not that big of a deal. But it always did frustrate me at that level to go to high schools and see that if you weren't the star athlete, if you weren't the star student, if you weren't the outgoing popular kid, or if your parents didn't have affluence or money, then at some of the schools I went to, not all, but some, you could clearly see that the counselors and the people there did not give a shit. And it sucks. And I'd feel really bad seeing it, because I'm like, those are the people that need it the most, that need it, because you don't know. I mean, a lot of teachers, I give a lot of teachers credit, because teachers see these kids every day. And so they can kind of figure out like what kids are disadvantaged at home, what kids don't have a lot, what kids are going through shit, And it sucks, and it makes me emotional, because those are the kids that need help the most. And I have seen firsthand where some schools just throw them aside and just shove them through the system because they don't want to help. And it sucks. Not all schools are like that. I've seen some schools come together and help those kids out so much, and that's a godsend, and I'm so happy. But I've seen schools just throw kids to the wayside, and it sucks. And I feel like Otakawa deserved better. Like, he came from such a bad home life and had so much against him, and he just, wanted to be loved, and his school didn't love him. When he was talking about the walrus and wanting to be like the walrus, I don't know if you've seen that movie. There's a movie called, is it Tusk? Is that what the movie is? Yeah, it's called Tusk. It is a black comedy horror by Kevin Smith. I've watched it. I've watched it. It's a thing. It's the thing. It's freaky as hell. It's 2014. If you want to go watch Tusk, go into it knowing it is one of the weirdest things you'll probably watch in a while. But I watched that, and so the moment he saw the walrus at the zoo and started talking about wanting to be a walrus, all I could think about was Tusk, and I was like, do you? So yeah. I wish I were a walrus instead. And I hate that, when you see his home life, you see the mom is like him, and she's just there's just trash everywhere, and she's just miserable because the dad's off cheating on her, and it sucks. And it sucks because, when you watch anime, you get this it's interesting because there is a dichotomy there where a lot of Japanese media portrays this pristine, everything's fine, nothing wrong here mentality. And then there are anime like this that show, no, everywhere, this is a problem. And this is happening everywhere. It's not just in the US, it's not just Europe, it's Japan too, where people fall through the cracks. And it just sucks. So it gets me emotional. I felt really sad. I wanted to cry watching this. And for Otakawa, it makes so much sense of his character, why he is the way that he is because of this, right? And the dad coming home. We never really see the dad's face, which is interesting. We see the mom's face once, and that's when she's in the car, right? But we don't see Otakawa's face till the end when he wakes up as an adult. But we never see the dad's face, which I thought was interesting, right? They gave him this animal encyclopedia. I love how the series was so smart to have the animals' faces always be present, but until Otakawa wakes up at the end, he doesn't see anybody as human. I love that. It's so good. And then him getting dropped off at the zoo while the dad goes and sees the mistress. But that's where he sees the walrus. He's like, they're fat just like me. I thought they looked like my mom too. Which honestly, Otakawa looks fine. He looks really sweet. I was expecting the way he talks about himself for him to be this troll, and he's not a Shrek. He looks like a nice guy. He was giving me Toto vibes kind of from Jujutsu Kaisen. He doesn't look bad at all. I was like, my dude, you're totally fine. And then we have the cops all following Yano and them. These two guys, this water buffalo looking guy and this cat guy, make it out of the losers bracket. They talk about Donraku stepping down. And then Shirakawa, I love her. I'm so glad that she genuinely fell in love with Otakawa. I love that. I ship them so hard. I'm like, look at you, Otakawa. And she's so pretty. I love that. I love it. And then Goriki and them going to the harbor to see him. So we have everything set up. We have Goriki and Shirakawa going to the harbor to meet him. We have Shibagaki and Baba, which we'll talk about, on there deciding whether or not they need to work together. And Baba's wearing the scarf that Rui made for him. Honestly, I kind of don't want them to team up together anymore. I really don't, because you can tell from Baba's body language, from his, vocal things. We'll go back to that scene at the very end. At this point, I was like, you know what? I think Shibagaki should just go with the giraffe kid, the student, because he seems like he wants to work with them. I think they end up working together, though, at the end, but yeah. And what gets me is that, I guess because Baba, and I didn't realize the bridge was cutting off right behind them. I did not see that coming. But I guess from Baba's perspective, Baba is kind of like Amai in the sense that I don't think he gets the thickness of the sarcasm that Shibagaki uses sometimes. Because Amai, it's kind of funny. Amai works with Shibagaki as well, and I don't think he picks up on it either. But Baba, I don't think realized the subtext of like, read between the lines. Shibagaki's saying this to you, but he's just being insecure. But how would Baba know? So you understand why. But Shibagaki's like, I know I said that, but I was just being tsundere. He's like, you always said I was a crap straight man. He's like, oh, come on. He's like, I'll write funny your jokes. Be my straight man. Like, we know he's a straight man. He's dating Rui. He's like, interrupt me again. Meanwhile, Rui is sitting there wondering, like, the police will probably keep questioning us. Why don't we just tell them the truth? And I like that Yamamoto's like, the truth? Do you understand what we did? We disposed of a body. And she's like, it's going to drive me crazy if we don't tell them. The guilt's going to be too much. We don't see Shiho as a calico, as a human, do we? Unless she's at the very end with Goriki. Maybe. I don't know if we see her at the end. She has the scarf. I want to see if the blonde girl at the end had the scarf like her. And then maybe that was her. But yeah, so even what's interesting is that Shiho and the one girl, Wagasaki or whatever her name is, the one that's the actual murderer, they both have a similar background and upbringing where we cut to Shiho and the kids being like, have you seen her house? A prefab packed to the brim. Basically meaning prefab means it's prefabricated. There are a lot, I live in a very rural, low income area, and there's a lot of prefabricated houses, like pre-made, very kind of cheaper end, sort of carbon copy little houses. That there's nothing wrong with them. But if you were going to be classist and elitist, then yeah, you'd probably look down upon them, which is sad. But yeah, and they just talk shit about her. And I say that's why she spends all her time in the bath. I bet she gets super wrinkly. And the ironic thing is that Shiho and the murder cat, I'm just going to call her Murder Cat, they both wanted the same thing. They both wanted money. They both wanted to get out of the poverty situation that they were in their socioeconomic situation. The only thing that's different is that one, Shiho wants to be rich for herself, and Murder Cat wants to be rich for her and her mom to help each other out. The other thing is Shiho was not willing to go to any lengths to get super rich. She still was keeping some moral compass to her. Murder Cat does not seem to care. So that's the difference between the two of them. And it's like, oh my God. So that connection is so interesting to me. So fascinating to think about. But yeah. And so then she's on the edge thinking about what to do. And then we cut straight to Murder Cat Girl. And she's thinking as well. And she sees her mom. And she's like, welcome home. She's like, have you eaten dinner yet? And she's like, not yet, but aren't you tired from work? She's like, I'll find something to eat. And the crazy thing is, she's really nice to her mom. She's really nice to her mom. Her mom comes in from work and she's like, hey, you don't have to fix me anything. I'll get something to eat. Don't worry about it. Like, understands that her mom is working really hard for her. She's like, you'll need a lunch for tomorrow and I'll make dinner while I'm at it. But I don't have fried chicken. And she says, thanks. And then she says, as someone whose dreams were shattered, you look radiant to me. You only get one go around in life, and you've got to do whatever it takes to make your dreams come true. Girl, that's all admirable and everything, but you don't have to murder people. Oh my God, that's what floored me the most, is that you look at this girl, she has a great relationship with her mom. They're both super nice. They both seem like super nice people, but then the girl's like, well, my mom did say do anything, and I guess if I got to crack a few eggs, and I'm like, girl, don't murder people. And she's thinking about doing it again. What a twist on the serial killer route. What a twist on the serial killer route. She's like, well, maybe I need to kill somebody else or I'm a solo act. And she's obviously talking about Shio because Rui's going to prison. Oh my God. Oh my God. Meanwhile, you have Eiji who's contemplating what to do. And then you have, Yano and Seguchi are like looking at Otakawa from outside the window, like, look at him. And then poor Tanaka having his It's a Wonderful Life moment. I'm so glad Tanaka was okay, because I thought Tanaka was going to kill himself, and I was really going to be sad about that. And then they bust through. They explain the visual agnosia. Is visual agnosia an actual thing? Is it? It is. Oh, wow. Yeah. A patient who can see a hammer but can't identify it as a hammer by sight, or mistakes a picture of a pretzel for a snake, though they can't identify the object by touch or sound. That's cool. Okay. Interesting. So, yeah. Huh. So it is an actual thing, so that's cool. Good to know we're getting some actual science involved. But yeah, and then we get to the end of the road. And Otakawa thinks of his mom doing the same thing. That shot of Otakawa flying off the bridge in the moonlight and all the money coming down. What I thought was going to happen was that when that tailgate opened, the trunk opened, I thought that the case was going to come flying out, and I thought the case was going to fly into Tanaka's hands. And Tanaka was going to be like, oh, I have money to live and survive on. You know, I thought that's what was going to happen, but no, instead, Otakawa flies, and Kabasawa was taking a selfie and then videotaped. Again, the callback of Kabasawa seeing Otakawa from like the first or second episode, and now seeing him again in the finale. Just so satisfying. So satisfying. But yeah, everything dropping. The phone dropping into the water. The ring dropping into the water. The chicken dropping into the oil. The bath bomb dropping into the water too. And then he's like, one more time. Be the straight man one more time. And he's like, I'm being interrupted by a car? And that connection to Shibagaki and Baba to the guy that listened to them the most. So good. And then Shirakawa was like, damn, girl. The girl has an iron set of lungs, because here's the thing. I am honestly, one of my biggest fears, I hate bridges. One of my biggest fears is driving off a bridge, because you got a short window of time to get out of that car if that happens because of pressure and all of that. Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. One of my biggest fears. Nope. And I can't hold my breath that long. So that's terrifying. I don't know how Shirakawa managed to dive to save him, but I will take anime logic. I will take it 100%. We took it for a drive. I love the tie to him wanting to be a driver and to drive and see the street lights at night, and him looking out and having fun with the roads and the traffic signals. And then when he woke up, he was in a hospital bed. The doctors explained a bunch of stuff to me, but I couldn't understand. But he looked like an alligator. And suddenly I'd become a walrus. Also, tiny, cute little baby Otakawa as a walrus is super cute. Really adorable. I love that. And then he could start talking to people because he saw them as animals. Oh, everyone said they felt sorry for me, but I was better off than I was before. And his raising his little hands like he was happy that he got out of the situation. He could talk to people again. And then he sees the taper. And the taper, what's interesting is we don't really get confirmation if the boss, the taper, was running a shady orphanage that was funneling money, or was a front for them laundering money in other places, which I could totally see. They're like, yes, we've got this orphanage system where we fund these orphans and get them through school and everything. And it's like a money laundering business, but it also simultaneously helps the kids. I don't know. Or if it was genuinely the boss trying to do a charitable act despite the crimes that he was committing. We don't know. I do love that his one rule, as he tells Otakawa, is that none of his men kill people. That makes a lot of sense, because one, it explains why Dobu didn't tell Otakawa the rule, because Dobu's never tried to kill anybody. He's just beat the shit out of them, but he's never killed anybody. And he's robbed a bank, but he's never killed anyone, because that's the boss's rules. And if he told Otakawa that, then Otakawa wouldn't be as afraid to like try to hit and run, right? It also makes sense why Yano wasn't the murderer. Yano just helped dispose of the body, but the body was already dead. So all that, but yeah, he must be significantly older than Otakawa to offer to move him to Tokyo I was really glad I'd become a walrus. I only met the taper then. No, you've met him in the sauna several times. But yeah, girl. How girl kicked through this window with a sweater on and then drug him back to the water. I'll take the anime logic. I'll take it. I'll take it. It works for me. But then seeing everyone as human. What a wild twist. I didn't know if they were going to show us it or not, but and here's let's rank these. Let's rate these. Gariki looks great. Gariki, I see the gorilla. I see the look. Gariki with the big crazy beard and the bushy eyebrows. I don't know why Otakawa thought Shirakawa was an alpaca with the dark hair, but you know what? Maybe because her neck's long, but it's fine. Maybe it's her poofy hair. It's fine. Otakawa looks amazing. He actually is not a bad-looking guy. He's really not. And he's endearing. It's cute. So then, yeah, Dobu, amazing. Dobu in human form, great. The Diamond Brothers, oh my gosh. I'm surprised they didn't have bags under their eyes since they were the Tanukis, it looked like, but I see it. They're okay. They're fine. It's so funny with the glasses. I like that Dobu finds out that Little Diamond is the one who shot him. Like, he gets confirmation with that, so glad. And he's like, oh yeah, my brother's going to get in trouble. Evil can never be destroyed completely, but I'll keep maintaining the peace. I'm glad that Little Diamond did not go off the deep end. Glad we didn't have that because I was sincerely worried about him. But yeah. So then we have the mystery kiss. Honestly, the one that surprises me the most is Rui. Rui with the pale blonde hair instead of being like having the white fur. She has the pale blonde hair. If you've ever watched Ace of the Diamond, she looks like a certain catcher in Act 2 of Ace of the Diamond. Looks like she could be the sister. But yeah, so she was suspected of dumping a body in the sea after killing fellow group member at the agency. Well, here's the thing. Rui did not kill her, but she's being suspected and held in custody. Then we get, oh my god, mystery kiss manager and all that. So, Sekiguchi as the polar bear. I can kind of see it. His hair's not quite white enough, but I kind of see it. Unemployed, age 26. Yano, 28, unemployed. Yano looks amazing. Yano looks so freaking good. I love it. Honestly, Yamamoto looks really good. Yamamoto, I like that the brown of his ears, the brown fox ears, are the way that his hair lays. I love that. That looks so freaking good. They did such a good job with these three. They look fantastic. Love that. Also those two unemployed. Crazy. And the charges are being denied. He's like, it has nothing to do with you. Okay. So Gariki and them, Amai shows up. Amai looks so darling. He looks like a 90s animation character from the West, and I cannot place exactly what, but so he gives Otakawa $100 million, which we'll talk about. He gives him the $100 million and does that. It should come to a huge shock. Oh, so I'm glad that Amai's keeping the other $900 million. I'm glad that he is. Good for him. You deserved it. Yeah. You should pay off. I love when they said you should pay off Kakihana's debt. He's like, no, he's going to do that himself. Fair. Kakihana deserves to pay off his debt. He did get himself into that boat. Aw. And he said, the girl I drove late at night on October 4th to the mystery kiss office. He's like, I guess I should tell the police. So I guess the question is, that's left to our imagination. Was it the girl? Was it the girl that killed Donraku's daughter that he drove to the office? Was it Donraku's daughter that he drove to the office? That is the question. But I don't think we'll ever find out. We'll never find out entirely. Who do we return the money to? He's like, he's a taper. Do you know who that is? And that's when he figures out who he should give, who is the organization, who's running the organization for the orphans. He's like, I need to confirm something. What's inside your house? It's a cat. Surprise, surprise. It's a cat. So yeah, now we see everybody as people going around, and we see them all walking around outside. We see the Bono illumination on there of Who Will Fall. Comedy duos compete to survive. Oh my gosh. Meanwhile, we see the owner of the bar, Yamabiko. She looks great. I love her. I can totally see it with the kangaroo. I see it. I love it. Then we have the guys in the sauna. And Otakawa confronts the taper. He's like, I can sleep now too. Confidently speaking to a human like you is a huge step forward for me. But I'm still not comfortable around women. You'll come around. You and Shirakawa will come around. And he's like, the police haven't arrested you. And he's like, that's because I have exceptional subordinates who will get arrested for me. So then he's like, I'm sure a lot of people suffered because of you, but I'm not here to criticize you for that. That's not my job. And you've probably saved more people than that. And he's like, I'm going to retire. Not only did I fail Don Chan's daughter, but my subordinates got caught too. I like they have the hourglass to like stop how long you should be in the sauna. So yeah, so the taper guy says he's getting out of the crime business because of the fact that he, inadvertently caused the death of his friend's daughter. And then he's like, I heard from Dobu you have one rule. And he's like, my rules don't kill people. That's all. I feel like that for Otakawa was sealing the deal of I'm going to give you the money. Because he's like, your rule is that you're not going to kill people. So even though you've caused a lot of people grief and a lot of bad stuff's happened under your watch, you also saved a bunch of orphans. So figure out what you're going to do with this. There's close to 100 million yen in here. I want you to do as much with it as you can. Even if it's just helping the kids you're currently supporting. Don't tell them until you give them that doll. He's like, you've been a great help. Now, did the taper realize in this moment that Otakawa is one of the guys he helped as a kid? Or is he still unsure of that? I don't know. But I love that. I love he got rid of it. So then he goes into the apartment and we find out it was a cat. And I love that he's like, oh great, it's just a cat. I'm like, you thought it could have been a person this whole time, Otakawa? Really? So then we see the Homo sapiens don't say their name. It's okay to mention their name. Can you believe Baba-san was dating a murderer? You're not supposed to say that. Everyone will be creeped out unless I say it. Well, she's still only a suspect. We're here to produce a proper radio show. And Otakawa looks so happy. He looks so happy. He's driving the taxi. And I'm like, while I am worried that this murder cat is now in his taxi and she might hurt him, I'm like, he's probably okay. Shirakawa can do some of her jujitsu and help out. So I think he'll be able to handle it. I think he can handle this girl. And that's when she says, Mom, how are you? I got transferred to a bigger agency. Oh, okay. Things are going so well, it's almost scary. So I guess since Mystery Kiss has disbanded, she's not going to hurt Shiho because they've disbanded. She's moved on to another agency. The Twin Peaks vibe of this moment was so good. I hounded the manager after I failed an audition. Thinking about it now makes me laugh. I was frustrated though. But yeah, it went well. Oh my God. And then showing her, we don't get to see the other girl's face, but her hair down there. If they hadn't become famous after that, I think I wouldn't have been content. But when I heard they'd be releasing their first CD, I couldn't sit still anymore. Everything's going well. Honestly, I wasn't expecting to lose someone else. But I get more attention because of it. Okay, so maybe she is talking about staying with the agency because Rui's gone now too. And she's like, I'm thinking of losing another and becoming a solo act. Yeah, Shio, watch your shit. Watch out, girl. Oh my God. And she says, oh, am I too greedy? Oh, and she says, nothing for now. All I headed out to do was find the taxi I rode in then. I think I found it. It was a total coincidence. I must be lucky after all. Girl, don't even try to do anything with Otakawa. No, girl, no. Okay, so let's talk about this because this was the most shocking animal to human moment was when we saw at the Aozora Comedy Festival. There's only like 2 people there, but it's Shibagaki and Baba. And Shibagaki, total catch. Total catch. Otakawa, you made him out to be this boar. This man is super cute. Like, I thought he was older than what he is. The way that Otakawa made him into this pig made him look like he was a lot older than he appears now. He appears really young. Total, yes. Totally, like, not a troll at all. Like, total catch. And then Baba. It's the jaw. It's the long face. It's the jaw. I'm usually all about a tall guy. But that damn chin, that chin threw me out. I see why he was a horse. That horse face. Oh, the hair. Yep, no. Baba is the Beauty and the Beast prince moment where Belle looks at the beast and the beast is a human and he like turns around. She's like, that's how I felt about Baba. I was like, oh, I think my reaction was like, oh, no slander to Baba. I was just like, oh, you were better as a horse. Sorry, Baba, you were better as a horse. I'm so sorry. But yeah, and so then uninstalling the Zuden and all data will be erased. He's like, don't. What does she say there? Because she's talking about, I must be lucky after all. Everything's going my way, and I'll tell you about it later. Don't worry, it'll go well again. Over the end of the year. Actually, I'll tell you about it later. I love Tanaka went back to work, and he looks like he's cleaned himself up. He's taken a damn bath, gotten his hair fixed. Good for Tanaka. That makes me so proud for him. I love that. Yep. And then, yeah, will you make some fried chicken again for me sometime? So then we have Kawasawa, who looks like I expected him to, says must read foolproof methods for finding a job. And he's at the library. Nice. Like you said, I'm going to do whatever it takes to make my dream come true. Girl. Then we see, honestly, Kakihana, AG looks the most like a monkey. I could totally see it. I love it. And then at the very end, we have Dobu in his cell. We have Shirakawa talking. I don't know if that one girl's supposed to be Shiho, but... And then we have the taxi, all right. And then who gets in? But her. And he says, where to? And you don't know if she's going to try to hurt him or if she's just going to like go on her merry way. You just don't know. You just don't know. At least I think Otakawa is going to be able to handle himself. I at least think he's going to be able to handle himself if she tries anything. But that was such a good episode. That was honestly, I was like, how are they going to wrap all this up and give me all the answers that I want and make it satisfying? And it just teases you with the ending with that it could go on. It teases you so much. And I'm like, damn it. But it's so good. So good. Would recommend this to anybody. This is definitely a series that if you like mysteries and if you like just slice of life meets mystery thriller, this is it. And it feels like such a gateway anime. Like you could have anybody watch this and it would be super fun and you wouldn't have to necessarily be an anime watcher to get it or appreciate it. I love it. I love it. If I had nails, I would clap them together. But yes. So next week, we're going to be looking at the audio dramas. And I think hopefully Cough Me was going to be getting for me the compilation of the extra scenes from the recap movie. So I don't have to watch. Because the recap movie is showing up on Crunchyroll as the next thing. But it's 2 hours and 7 minutes. I hate a recap. We've just watched the series, but hopefully there's a compilation of all the extra scenes that are added that I can watch along with the audio dramas next week. So anyway, what a fantastic episode. I'm in love. I hope you all are as well, but we're not going to waste any more time. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Please stay safe. Take care. Let me know what you thought about this season finale below. If you loved it as much as I did, what you think about this ending. What is your interpretation of this ending? I want to know because I need to know your thoughts. So in any case, I hope you all have a wonderful week. And I'll be back next week with one more go round of Odd Taxi. See you then.